case against Casey. DNA test results are now in from samples taken from Casey's car, and that is just the tip of the iceberg. Local 6 has just obtained page after page of test results, and we now know exactly why deputies are sure the missing 3-year-old is dead. Local 6's Mike DeForest begins our team coverage with that angle. Mike?
Well, Adam, we've heard about it for a month now, but for the very first time, we're getting to see this forensic report. Scientists with the Oak Ridge National Laboratory in Tennessee examined carpet samples and air samples taken from Casey Anthony's car. Their preliminary conclusion, Casey's trunk contained signs of human decomposition and had unusually high levels of the deadly chemical chloroform. After examining chemicals found in those carpet and air samples, the scientists concluded that a portion of the total odor signature identified in the Florida vehicle trunk is consistent with a decompositional event that could be of human origin. Now, as for that chloroform, the scientists point out that chloroform is naturally produced when a body decomposes. However, in Casey's car, they say they found an unusually large concentration of chloroform, far greater than what is typically seen in human decomposition. But in an admission that Casey Anthony's attorneys are sure to exploit, the scientists acknowledge that these results do not rule out the remote possibility that an unusual variety of products or materials may have some contribution to that overall chemical signature. Now, reading this report, it appears the scientists tried to rule out other items in the car that may have contaminated their test. For example, the lab obtained 2 other Pontiac Sunfires from a junkyard, just like Casey's car, and used them as control samples. They found that the carpeting in that car does emit some chloroform, but only very small trace amounts. The scientists also considered the fact that Casey had been hauling gasoline cans in her car. But even if the gas fumes were still in the trunk, they say they found other chemicals in the air that signified human decomposition. The scientists compared their results to animal decomposition, specifically dog, pig, and deer. The results showed human decomposition, not animal. And they even tested a rotting piece of pizza with mushrooms and pepperoni. Although pizza does produce some of the same chemicals as decomposition, the chemicals that they found in the trunk were hardly present. The chemicals in a rotting piece of pizza were hardly present in Casey Anthony's car. Now, as you may know, Casey parents have tried to blame rotting pizza for causing that horrible smell in the car. Now, we know that a pizza box was found in the garbage bag, and that garbage bag had been in the back of Casey's car. However, according to this report, there was never actually any pizza in the trunk. That's what's written in here. We're still trying to confirm it. It claims that those reports about pizza are untrue. But even if there was a decomposing body in the back of Casey's car, the big question still remains, was it that of missing Kaylee? For more on that, we go to Local 6's Lewis Bolden.
Well, Mike, we've known for some time that strands of hair were found in Casey's car. DNA evidence suggests that hair had to belong to Kaylee. Now, debris from the left side of the trunk liner in Casey Anthony's car did contain strands of hair. According to the examination report, a Caucasian head hair found exhibits characteristics of apparent decomposition at the root. A mitochondrial DNA test goes on to say the hair could belong to Casey or Kaylee, but since Casey is still alive, it would have to be Kaylee's. We also know that investigators recovered a shovel that Casey had borrowed from a neighbor. That shovel was tested, and it did contain a hair fragment. The first test determined the hair was too small to be meaningful, but a later test determined that both Casey and Kaylee were excluded as the source of the hair. So that shovel did not provide much information for the state, and I'm sure that's something Jose Baez is going to have a lot to say about. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Lewis Bolden, Local 6.
And indeed he did, Lewis. I just got off the phone with Casey Anthony's attorney, Jose Baez. Here's what he had to say about the forensic test results. Quote, "Finally, the cat is out of the bag. These reports contain very little evidence that Kaylee is dead." He continues by saying these test results are presumptive at best. They are not conclusive. People need to start looking for Kaylee because this isn't proof that she is dead. Now, Lewis and Mike are leading a team of our reporters that are still digging through these new documents and analyzing what evidence they contain in the case against Casey and the fate of Kaylee. Count on more breaking details all day right here on Local 6 starting at 4 and instant updates.